Bernie Sanders proposed a bipartisan piece of legislation that tries to end one of our disastrous wars. So let's take a look at his speech from it last week.
And it goes without saying that every armed conflict that the United States of America is engaged in must be consistent with the Constitution of the United States and be lawful. Let us make no mistake about it. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution states in no uncertain terms that Congress shall have power to declare war. Congress shall have power to declare war. The Founding Fathers gave the power to declare war to Congress, the branch most accountable to the people. For far too long, Congress, under Democratic and Republican administrations, has abdicated its constitutional role in authorizing war. The time is long overdue for Congress to reassert its constitutional authority. And that is what Senators Lee, Senator Murphy, and I are doing with this privileged resolution that we are introducing. Many Americans are unaware that the people of Yemen are suffering today in a devastating civil war, with Saudi Arabia and their allies on one side and Houthi rebels on the other. In November of this year, the United Nations Emergency Relief Coordinator said that Yemen was on the brink of, quote, the largest famine the world has seen for many decades, end quote. So far, at least 10,000 civilians have died and over 40,000 have been wounded in the war, and 3 million people have been displaced. Many Americans are also not aware that U.S. forces have been actively involved in support of the Saudis in this war, providing intelligence and aerial refueling of planes whose bombs have killed thousands of people and made this crisis far worse. We believe that as Congress has not declared war or authorized military force in this conflict, the United States' involvement in Yemen is unconstitutional and unauthorized, and U.S. military support of the Saudi coalition must end. Without congressional authorization, our engagement in this war should be restricted to providing desperately needed humanitarian aid and diplomatic efforts to resolve it. That is why today, Senator Lee and I and Senator Murphy are introducing a joint resolution pursuant to the 1973 War Powers Resolution calling for an end to U.S. support for the Saudi war in Yemen.
I am insanely happy that finally there's some senators now talking about this issue. For a while, it was Ro Khanna and Tulsi Gabbard, and that's pretty much it, talking about what's going on in Yemen. So for those of you who don't know the backstory, we sell Saudi Arabia, we give Saudi Arabia cluster bombs, which are illegal under international law, and all other types of weapons. We've given them billions of dollars worth of weapons. Donald Trump just did over a $100 billion weapons deal with them. And they take these weapons and they immediately bomb women and children in Yemen. And they're blockading the country. There's a cholera epidemic now in the country. Millions of people are sick. People are starving in Yemen because, again, they're blockading the country, not letting food in. So, and we're not just an innocent bystander here either, where, oh, we sell Saudi Arabia the weapons and look at that, they're carrying out a genocide with those weapons. In fact, we've helped them in terms of targeting for them, pointing out on the map, hey, here's where you bomb and here's where you bomb. And make no mistake about it, they've hit hospitals, they've hit schools for the blind, they've hit open air markets, they've hit mosques. So this is a terrorist campaign that we're complicit in. That's not something you'd ever hear, anybody say in the mainstream, but that's what it is, man. There's really no other way of describing it. So finally, you have Bernie Sanders speaking up about it. And by the way, one of the main criticisms of Bernie Sanders during his last campaign is, on foreign policy, he's kind of weak. Well, yes and no. So every now and then he did apologetics for Obama's drone wars. That's not good. Every now and then he did apologetics for Israel. That's not good. He's against BDS. Again, I don't think that's good. But relatively speaking, he is one of the best on foreign policy that we have. For example, I remember during the debates, he would talk about the history of the United States supporting various dictators. He spoke about the United States, the CIA overthrowing Mohammad Mossadegh, the democratically elected leader in Iran in 1953. And he brought that up in the context of, you want to know why they fucking hate us? Here's one of the reasons why they hate us. Our CIA overthrew their democratically elected government so we can keep jacking their oil. We put a puppet in there who did our bidding. That's one of the main reasons why they hate us. So what Bernie's speaking to here also, I mean, think about how absurd this narrative is that the mainstream is trying to sell us. They're trying to say, no, we need to get involved in this war because it's part of the war on terror. And they're just adding it to the old school Bush authorization for use of military force. Here's why that's crazy. We are aiding and abetting the side of the Sunnis. So Saudi Arabia, but Saudi Arabia is also backing Sunni militias on the ground, including Al-Qaeda. So we're not fighting Al-Qaeda. We're de facto aligned with Al-Qaeda in Yemen, and we're going after the Houthis. Now, the Houthis, they're terrible. You could say every negative thing you want in the world about them, but here's a fact. They're not about to hit America. They're Shia rebels. They're not about to hit America. There's no attack from the Houthis against the United States. So it's just a lie to act like, oh, add this to the authorization for use of military force under Bush. Well, you can't do that if the people you're fighting are not even Al-Qaeda. They're not even Sunni jihadists. So it's just, they're using the war on terror to fight anywhere and everywhere. They just add it on. We're bombing 8 different countries right now. I mean, how the fuck is Niger involved in 9/11? It's not. But they're just pretending it is so that we can expand our empire everywhere and continue to be the world police, even though we back 73% of the world's dictatorships, and we're aligned with Saudi Arabia, which is the home of Wahhabism, which is the extremist version of Islam that branches like Al-Qaeda believe in. So, Bernie Sanders is 100% correct here. I'm happy it's bipartisan, too. Usually when there's bipartisan agreement on something, they agree, Democrats and Republicans agree to screw you and be corporatists and do Wall Street's bidding or Big Pharma's bidding or for-profit health insurance companies' bidding. So this is a rare instance of bipartisanship where Bernie and some libertarian-ish leaning senators are like, okay, we're going to work together to try to end what's going on in Yemen. And he's right. This is a no-brainer. On the substance, we shouldn't be doing it. But then there's also the added point of it's not constitutional to do it because you would need a declaration of war, and we haven't gotten that. You're just adding it onto the old Bush authorization for use of military force. So Bernie's 100% correct. This is sign number 9,312 that he's going to run in 2020, and that's a wonderful thing.